Hello, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Miss Hope's Reading Hour. So happy to see you all. Wait a minute. My microphone's turned crazy. There we go. Hello, happy Fri-YAY. Happy Fri-YAY, okay? It is Friday. We've been through a whole week of school, a whole week of work, and we made it. And we're having a good day, right? So welcome to Miss Hope's Reading Hour. If this is your first time here on Facebook or YouTube or Periscope or Instagram, I am Miss Hope. I am so happy to see you all. So happy to be here with you on this fabulous Fri-YAY. So if you notice our music in the background, it has to do with our first 3 books of the day. So today is going to be a 4-book day, okay? So as I always say, let's see if we can make it through all 4 of these books, because we're almost finished. Belly up, and we got to get to the end to find out what happened to Henry the Hippo and who did it, okay? We have to find out all of that information. So, we're going to make it through our 4 books today. How about we look at these 4 books and see what we are reading for today? All right, so let's see, which one do I want to do first? Okay, I think I want to do this one first. So, this book is called When the Cows Come Home. When the Cows Come Home by David L. Harrison, illustrated by Chris L. Demarest. When the Cows Come Home. So if you saw the teaser, right? Have you ever wondered on the farm with all of those animals, what happens when the humans go away? What happens? What would happen if they took over the farm? We're going to see what happens in these books today. Our next book is called Giggle, Giggle, Quack. Giggle, Giggle, Quack. Now I will let you in on this. And this does not happen all the time. I read all 3 of these books before Miss Hope's Reading Hour, and they are pretty funny. At least the first 2 are pretty funny. The other one is a really great story. Giggle, Giggle, Quack by Doreen Cronin. Pictures by Betsy Lewin. From the creators of Click, Clack, Moo, Cows That Type. Now, I've read that book in school with my students, and that's a pretty funny book, too. Giggle, Giggle, Quack. Okay, let's see what happens with this book. And our 3rd book of our 4-book day is called Chicken Man. It's called Chicken Man by Michelle Edwards. I can't wait till you hear this story. I really like this story. Chicken Man. And then our mystery chapter book. And we are almost finished. Let me show you how much we got to go. I told you that possibly by the next Fri-YAY, we will be done. Either by then or before we'll be finished, because this is all we got, y'all. This is it until we find out what happened and who did it. Okay? So, our mystery chapter book for our older ones, Belly Up by Stuart Gibbs. Okay? So, this is our 4th book. Now, do remember, as you see the ticker at the bottom, so we've been reading a lot of books. We've had some 4-book days, okay? We've been reading a lot of books for a long time since Miss Andrea gave us those boxes of books. And now, once again, we have gone from this many books, and we're going down and down and down. So if you would like to donate to Miss Hope's Reading Hour, please feel free to donate so that we can get more books to keep Miss Hope's Reading Hour going. Okay? So as you see in that ticker at the bottom, that you can donate via Cash App. My Cash App is all lowercase, all one word, Hope GM, HOPEGM. That is my Cash App handle. Whatever you donate goes straight towards the books. Also, if you would like to donate a gift card, like a digital gift card to Amazon or any book retailer of your choice, you can also email me those gift cards at misshopesrh@gmail.com. That's MSHOPESRH@gmail.com. It's right down there in the ticker. Okay? And you can send those gift cards right to me. And guess what? They go straight to Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Okay? Now, last but not least, before we get to the books, remember, and I'm going to put something up on, I wasn't expecting the music to change like that. But, okay. All right, so, we are still looking for some, I'm so sorry. I thought I put my phone on silent. See, this is what happens when you're live, people. This is what happens when you are live. This is what happens. All types of stuff, okay? So, once again, I am still looking for those organizations that would like for their t-shirt and their logo to be displayed here on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. Even if you have a poster, I'll put that up on my fair wall, okay, of organizations that work with children and families. We would like to shout you out, and we would like a representative to come and be a guest reader here on Miss Hope's Reading Hour. So if that is you and you have one such organization like that, please look down in the ticker right down there, and check that email, misshopesrh@gmail.com, and send me your information so I can contact you. Okay, now it is time to get to the books. Okay? All right. Our first book, When the Cows Come Home, by David L. Harrison, illustrated by Chris L. Demarest. So, also, who is the publisher of this book? I do not see that. Boyd's Mills Press. Boyd's Mills Press is the publisher. I think I may start letting you all know oh no, it's published by Caroline House, Boyd's Mills Press Incorporated, a highlights company. Oh man, do I love highlights. If you've never had Highlights magazine, I had it when I was younger. I loved me some highlights. And those hidden pictures, that was my favorite part. When the Cows Come Home. When the cows come home at the end of the day, they swish their tails and gently sway. They chew their cuds in a cow-like way when the cows come home at the end of the day. But if farmer looks the other way, Cows take off on holiday. You never saw such cow horse play when farmer looks the other way. Oh boy. What do they do when they go on holiday? We will see. Cows play tag in fields of hay. Catch me if you can, they say. You ought to see them dash away when cows play tag in fields of hay. They fiddle their fiddles and shout hooray. Let's all sing at the end of the day. Did you know that cows could fiddle? Did you know? Let's square dance with a ho and a hey. And they fiddle their fiddles and shout hooray. You didn't know? They hitch their bikes to farmer's sleigh to pull their babies as they play. They ride bikes too. Cows are smarter than you thought. And who would ever know that they could ride bikes or pull a sleigh? Who would have thunk it? Everyone in the pond, cows say. Let's cool off at the end of the day. Last one in is an old blue jay. Everyone in the pond, cows say. They play tag, they ride bikes, they pull sleighs, they swim in the lake. They laugh at donkeys when they bray and bring them onions for a bouquet. That is not a gift. They somersault and prance away and laugh to hear the donkeys bray. Yeah, the donkeys are probably saying, just like me. Bouquets of onions. Open the gate. Let's run away. Open the gate so we can stray. Are they trying to get off the farm? They are doing a lot. Okay. Should we leave or should we stay? Open the gate. We might. We may. Shh, they whisper through the hay. Farmers looking around this way. Let's swish our tails and gently sway. Shh, they whisper through the hay. Giggling softly, cows obey and head for home in a cow-like way. Farmer winks and milks away when cows come home at the end of the day. The end. Ooh, them cows are a mess. They were doing a whole lot when the farmer looked away. Gotta keep an eye on those cows. But Maybe cows aren't the only ones you need to keep an eye on. On to our next book, and you'll see why I said this when we read through the next book. Giggle, Giggle, Quack. By Doreen Cronin. Pictures by Betsy Nguyen. Let's see. Published by Scholastic Incorporated. I have a lot of their books. We've read a lot of them too. All right. Farmer Brown was going on vacation. He left his brother Bob in charge of the animals. I wrote everything down for you. Just follow the instructions and everything will be fine. But keep an eye on Duck. He's trouble. Farmer Brown thought he'd heard giggles and snickers as he drove off. But he couldn't be sure. Giggles and snickers. Bob gave Duck a good long stare and went inside. He read the first note. Tuesday night is pizza night, not the frozen kind. The hens prefer anchovies. Giggle, giggle, cluck. Uh-oh. 29 minutes later, there was hot pizza in the barn. I don't know if the farmer wrote that note. Bob checked on the animals before he went to bed. Everything was just fine. Wednesday is bath day for the pigs. Wash them with my favorite bubble bath and dry them off with my good towels. Remember, they have very sensitive skin. Giggle, giggle, oink. Oh boy. The good towels? Bob had all the pigs washed in no time. Oh, and he used the ones with Farmer Brown's name on them. Uh-oh. Farmer Brown called home on Wednesday night to check in. Did you feed the animals like I wrote in the note? He asked. Done, replied Bob, counting 7 empty pizza boxes. I wonder what Farmer Brown's note really said. Did you see my note about the pigs? All taken care of, Bob said proudly. Are you keeping a very close eye on Duck? He asked. Bob gave Duck a good long stare. Duck was too busy sharpening his pencil to notice. I don't know, that seems he should be sharpening a pencil. Just keep him in the house, ordered Farmer Brown. He has a bad influence on the cows. Giggle, giggle, moo, giggle, oink. Giggle, quack. Thursday night is movie night. It's the cow's turn to pick. Giggle, giggle, moo. Bob was in the kitchen popping corn just as the animals settled in to watch The Sound of Music. The phone rang. The only thing Farmer Brown heard on the other end was giggle, giggle, quack, giggle, boo, giggle, oink. Uh-oh, duck! Screamed Farmer Brown. He knew it. It's for you, Bob. The end. Farmer Brown's gotta end his vacation early because Duck has taken over and changed all of his notes. You gotta watch them animals. That's why they get up so early on the farm, probably, to make sure that those animals aren't doing stuff they don't have any business. All right, our third book in our 4-book challenge of today, Chicken Man by Michelle Edwards. Published by Mulberry Books. So I'm going to read something on the back of... Should I read this first? So this book takes place in Israel. And I'm going to read this note from the author. In Israel, there are special farms called kibbutzim. Kibbutzniks, the people who live and work on those farms, work as hard and as much as they can, and the kibbutz gives them food, clothing, and a place to live in return. The kibbutzniks live in different little houses, but they all eat together in the big kibbutz dining hall. All kinds of fruits and vegetables are grown on the kibbutz. Cotton and wheat are also grown, and animals are raised as well. Most kibbutzim make things too, such as toys or furniture. One kibbutz, Kibbutz En Gedi, makes animated movies for the Israeli Sesame Street show. Kibbutz Hanan is a made-up kibbutz in a real place, the Jezreel Valley. The first kibbutzim were just like Kibbutz Hanan. The kibbutzniks moved about from job to job, and the children lived in special little houses with other children their age. Today, if you visit Israel, you will see that each kibbutz is different. But who knows, when you visit, you still might meet someone like Chicken Man. I did. And this book was written in 1991, so not that long ago. Chicken Man. Deep in Israel's Jezreel Valley, there once lived a man known to his mother as Roddy, and to all the rest of Kibbutz Hanan as Chicken Man. Now you might wonder why Roddy would choose a name like Chicken Man. He didn't. But the summer he worked in the kibitz chicken coop, the hens laid more eggs than ever before, and the roosters strutted and crowed as if they were the happiest in all of Israel. That's when the kibitz started calling Roddy Chicken Man. Chicken Man liked the chicken coop. He liked chickens. He liked all the noisy clucking when he sang. He even liked the way Clara greeted him by landing on his head and hugging his kibbutz hat. Chicken Man thought that he might like to work in the chicken coop forever. But in those days, everyone on the kibbutz had to take a turn at all the jobs. Some jobs were outside in the fields and orchards. Most everyone liked those jobs. Other jobs no one wanted to do, like baking cookies all day in the big, hot kibbutz oven. That was Braka's job when Roddy became Chicken Man, and she hated it. What's more, no one liked her cookies. I guess not. If you don't like your job, you might not make tasty cookies. Maybe not. Braca went to see Simon, the head of the work committee. I want Chicken Man's job, she told him. The chickens are always so happy and they are so easy to please. So when the new work list was posted, Braca moved to the chicken coop and Chicken Man was sent to the laundry. It wasn't easy for Chicken Man to trade his chickens for a washing machine and an iron, but he did. Goodbye, my dears. I'll visit often, he promised. And with one last pat for Clara, Chicken Man set off to the laundry. On his first morning, surrounded by bags and bags of dirty clothes, Chicken Man began to sing old songs, new songs, folk songs, songs of the pioneers. Every day, Chicken Man sang while he worked. The laundry was a quiet place, no clucking or crowing anywhere. But when Chicken Man sang, the noise of the chicken coop didn't seem so far away. The louder Chicken Man sang, the closer his chickens seemed. Chicken Man sang so loudly that Dov could hear him in the dairy. As Dov milked the cows and mucked out the barn, he thought about how much he would like a job in a clean place like the laundry, where he could sing as loud as he liked without being kicked by a cow. Dov went to talk to Simon. When the new work list was posted, Dov moved to the laundry. And Chicken Man? Where did he move to? Meet the new kibitz gardener, Chicken Man told the chickens. The roosters crowed sadly and the hens sat quietly. They missed Chicken Man and he missed them. Clara pecked at her feathers. I'll bring you flowers from the garden, he promised her. In Chicken Man's first week as gardener, he weeded and mulched and trimmed. He even fixed the sprinkler system. And every night he brought Clara a bunch of bright red roses. Every morning from her window in the kitchen, Aviva watched Chicken Man watering the roses, while she washed the big pots and pans in steaming hot water. She could see Chicken Man climbing the big old lemon tree to trim the dead branches. Ah, to be high in a shady lemon tree, to cover roses with a cool, steady stream of water. No wonder Chicken Man was always singing. Aviva spoke to Simon. When the new work list was posted, she became the kibbutz gardener. Chicken Man was sent to the Baal again, the wildest children's house in the entire kibbutz. The roosters shook their sagging combs, and the hens pecked and poked at his boots when Chicken Man told them about his new job. They weren't happy. They weren't the same happy brood. He was worried about them. "I'll be back tomorrow," he promised. The next morning, Chicken Man walked to Baal again to cook breakfast. The children were wilder than ever. Gabby was dumping oatmeal in Eli's bed. Eli, Hannah, and Matan were making their chairs and tables into a wobbly tower. Mira and Shira were unrolling a roll of toilet paper to see whether it would really stretch to Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is a city in Israel. "Hey, look at this," said Chicken Man, juggling spoons. "Pancakes, anyone?" he asked as he tossed a few eggs into the air. That morning, the children didn't throw a single pancake. They ate their breakfast and laughed while Chicken Man juggled oranges. Whew, look at that room. If he could calm them down, he's good. Just then, Moshe passed by on his way to work in the orchard. He looked into the Baal again and laughed. Apple trees were pretty, but trimming and pruning weren't much fun. He was just thinking about how much he would like to work in the Baal again. And when in ran Simon, huffing and puffing. There was trouble in the chicken coop. The hens had stopped laying eggs. "No eggs for cakes?" shouted Simon. "No eggs for cookies? No eggs for the kibbutz to sell?" "Voy, voy, voy," said Chicken Man. He should have known it would come to this. Poor Clara. Get the work committee together. Simon called a meeting for that afternoon. "The chickens need me," Chicken Man told the committee. "And the kibbutz needs eggs," added Simon. "Chicken Man is the only one who can make our hens happy again. We need him back in the chicken coop." The work committee agreed. No more job switching for Chicken Man. He could work in the chicken coop now and forever. Chicken Man hurried out of the meeting and went straight to the chicken coop. "Cock-a-doodle-doo," he sang to the roosters. "I'm back," he sang to the hens. Chicken Man sang a few of their favorite songs. The chickens began to cluck and crow. Clara flew to her special spot on top of his head, and the next morning, every hen laid an extra egg. Chicken Man was home. The end. That was a good story, wasn't it? So sometimes there are jobs that only you can do. There's something that only you can do, and you do it so amazing that everybody knows. I just can't have anybody else do that. I gotta have them do it because they're awesome. And they're the only ones who can get it done in the way that they get it done. So everyone has something that they do better than anybody else. Once you find that thing, everyone will love it when you do that. Okay? All right. So it is time, my friends, to get back to Belly Up. Let me get my glasses because it's getting real, people. It is getting real. All right. So we are now to our next chapter. We ended a chapter the last time on Wednesday. And I was like, no, I'm not going to start the chapter without my friends. So where are we? This is where we are. So, finally, Buck Grassley and the security team that originally ran off when the tiger got out of its enclosure during the Carnivore Canyon party, they finally come 15 minutes later. And Buck Grassley wants everyone who witnessed it to stay. But Teddy's dad said, listen, we've been through enough. We are not staying. We were here. We made sure the tiger got back into the enclosure. If you have any more questions, we will answer them tomorrow. We're going home. But when they got home, they actually didn't get to eat at the party. They were too busy trying to get the tiger under control. So Teddy's mom made them something to eat. But then Dad started asking some questions. He started asking questions about the dead jaguar. Did anybody know that the jaguars were there? And then Teddy's mom said, when new animals come, they usually put up a list. And if any of them get sick or die, they put a list up too for the keepers. Everyone should be able to see it. But at Fun Jungle, they have never seen such a list. And Teddy's dad is wondering, why have we not seen this list? This is where we ended the last chapter, chapter 14. The party is over. That was the name of the last chapter. Chapter 15, the dead list. Pete Thwacker was right. The next morning, the news was all about the escaped tiger. And not just the local news. Even though it seemed to me there were far more important things going on in the world, Kashmir was the lead story on every channel. You might have thought Iran had strapped nuclear weapons to the tiger's back for all the coverage. Every show had plenty of footage of Kashmir wreaking havoc. Several park employees had used their phones to film him, then uploaded their videos to YouTube. I even caught a glimpse of myself and Mom in one shot, standing to the side and watching, although there was no mention of us by name or the fact that we'd been in direct danger. My family wasn't really surprised we'd been left out of the story. What did surprise us was the revelation that Fun Jungle knew who had let the tiger out. What? At some point in the night, they'd even issued a press release to that effect. The event had been an act of sabotage perpetrated by the Animal Liberation Front. Pete himself appeared on all major morning news shows via satellite. He was surprisingly well kept and confident, given the state of mind he'd been in the night before. The ALF has a history of sending threatening letters to Fun Jungle and other zoos. Despite our commitments to conservation and quality animal care, Pete stated, now they have attacked. Setting Kashmir free was a blatant terrorist attack designed to both make Fun Jungle look bad and hurt our bottom line without any consideration for the safety of our guests last night. Thankfully, our keepers handled the situation professionally and no one was hurt. The sad thing is that while the ALF claims to be looking out for the animal's best interests, it is they, in fact, who are doing harm to the animals in their desperate bid to discredit us. How's that? The news anchor asked. Our internal investigation has uncovered evidence that the ALF was also behind the death of our beloved Henry the Hippo. Mom, Dad, and I all turned to the television, stunned by Pete's announcement. His interviewer was visibly startled. Are you saying Henry was murdered? No, but he definitely died, whether premeditated or not, because of the actions perpetrated by the ALF. What is your evidence? I'm not at liberty to reveal that at this time for fear of jeopardizing the ongoing investigation. But I can say that full details will be released as soon as possible, most likely after the funeral services for Henry this afternoon. Even I had to admit, while Pete was a moron when it came to animals, he was awfully smart when it came to PR. PR means public relations. In just a few sentences, he had turned the scandal over the escaped tiger around to focus the blame on the ALF, and even got in a plug for Henry's funeral as well. After his interview, the news program's staff had forgotten entirely about Kashmir. All they talked about was Henry. Pete, or his minions in the PR department, worked the same magic on the other morning shows as well. I thought Fun Jungle didn't want anyone to know Henry was murdered, I said. I suppose they'd rather have people talking about that than the escaped tiger, Mom replied. Pete's words were bittersweet for me, though. While I felt redeemed to have finally got the word out that Henry had been murdered, it was annoying to get no thanks for all my hard work and to be so shut out of the investigation that I had to hear the recent developments on the news like every other person in America. Plus, something about the quick reveal that the Animal Liberation Front was responsible rubbed me the wrong way. Despite all the claims that evidence had been uncovered showing their link to Henry's death, I hadn't found anything along those lines, and I'd been the first one to investigate. I told Mom and Dad this. To my surprise, they were as uncomfortable with Pete's accusations as I was. I know plenty of people who've been involved with the ALF over the years, Dad said. They're radical and even destructive, but I have a hard time imagining them doing something like this. Then why is Fun Jungle saying they did? To deflect attention from whoever did do it, Mom said. Then do they know who did it? Not necessarily, Dad replied. But finding the real criminal isn't the point of PR. It's making everyone think no one at Fun Jungle is to blame. So then Fun Jungle might not really be trying to find the bad guy at all? They might only be trying to find someone to take the fall? Possibly. But then the real bad guy gets away. Not if we can help it, Dad said. So we went off to learn answers to the questions Dad had posed. How many animals had died at Fun Jungle? And what was the metal groove in Hippo River? I was thrilled to have Dad home and helping the investigation. Even though Summer had lent a hand, things were different with my father. Despite the attempts of my life, with him by my side, the investigation felt less dangerous and more like one of our adventures. Plus, Dad's presence made investigating easier. First, he was highly respected around Fun Jungle, and simply put, he was an adult. When you're a kid, everyone's naturally suspicious of you. I know I didn't have the best reputation around Fun Jungle, but still, if an adult acts like they belong somewhere, more often than not, no one gives them a second glance. As a kid, you stick out. There are plenty of places you're not supposed to go. There are plenty of questions you can't get away with asking. It's very hard to be taken seriously when everyone's wondering where your mother is. Dad didn't even have to make up a story to be allowed into the veterinary hospital. He simply pushed the buzzer, waved at the security camera, and said, "Hey, Roz, it's me." Roz quickly buzzed both of us in, then greeted us with a warm smile. "Welcome back," she cooed to my dad. "How was China?" "Wonderful," Dad said, and then regaled her with a few amazing tales of big pandas to get her in a good mood. Dad had a way with women, particularly older women like Roz. They'd just stare at him dreamily as he told his stories. Mom always said they were imagining themselves 30 years younger. If Roz had any idea we had nearly been munched at the party the night before. She didn't show it. She just hung on every word. Once Dad had her really hooked, he smoothly segued to the task at hand. "I could talk to you all day about this, but we have work to do. I was told you had a list of all the animals that have died at Fun Jungle." Roz reacted, more curious than suspicious. "What do you need that for?" "McCracken wants photographic documentation of every animal that comes to Fun Jungle. His office gave me a list of every animal that's been shipped here, but they said it's not completely accurate because it does not take into account the animals that have died. I don't want to go running around all day looking for an animal that no longer exists, so they sent me here for the list." "I see. Only I don't have any list like that." "You don't?" "No. No one ever told me to keep one." "Could you remember all the animals that died?" I asked. Roz grimaced, finding the thought of doing this distasteful. "I suppose it'd be a great help," Dad said, flashing his best smile. That put Roz over the edge. "Well, let's see. Sadly, there have been quite a few. First, there was Carl the capybara. Such a shame. He was a real sweetheart, so adorable. I think he had some sort of gastric disorder." Roz's true love for animals was finally showing through. A capybara is the world's biggest rodent. Ooh, and y'all know how I feel about mice. It looks more like a compacted Ariadne than a giant rat, but I'd still never heard anyone refer to one as a sweetheart before. And then there was Sydney the sloth. I never got to know her. She got some sort of infection in transit and died en route. I'm sure she was lovely, though. All sloths are. She died before she got here? But they still named her? Dad asked. No, darling, I named her. I name all the animals, no matter what. Sid's so much nicer than calling her sloth. Sydney's so much nicer than calling her sloth number 6, don't you think? I suppose, Dad said, though I could tell he didn't mean it. Then there was Alistair. Let me guess. I said, an alligator? No, an anaconda. I'm not partial to snakes myself, but he was a darling. Unfortunately, some foolish cargo employee let his tail get crushed. It got infected by the time he got to save him. Dad was growing concerned now, not because of the deaths, but something about them. I don't need to know the details behind how they all died, he said. I only need to know their names. Let's see. There was Harriet the howler monkey, Oswald the ocelot, Agnes the agouti, Wally the wildebeest, Andrea the anteater, Jerry the jaguar. Plus, there were quite a lot of little creatures that died en route, frogs and fish and such. But I'm afraid I don't have names for them all. Doc didn't autopsy the small ones. He just had them buried, I think. I doubted this part was true. It was probably something Doc had told her to protect her delicate sensibilities. As much as Doc liked animals, he couldn't take the time to bury everyone that died. He got rid of the small ones the way most people did, by flushing them down the toilet. That's quite all right, Dad told Roz. You've been extremely helpful. Thanks for your time. Feel free to come by any time, Roz cooed. The moment we were out the door, Dad asked me, did you notice what all of those animals had in common? I nodded. Except for the wildebeest, they are all from the Amazon rainforest. Dad smiled, proud of me. Exactly. That's suspicious, right? Extremely. First, that's a very long list of large animals to die in such a short time. But even if the deaths were natural, the probability is that you'd have dead animals from random places all over the world. Instead, we have a pattern. Almost every large animal that died is from the exact same region. And that suggests something's wrong here. We're going to stop right there. Oh, so there is a list, but there's not a list. So Roz was not told to keep a list, but I bet you somebody has that list, okay? And that is quite a lot of animals that didn't make it, okay? Quite a lot, especially for there to be no list. And that is kind of suspicious that they are all from the same place in the world, okay? And then it's suspicious also that Roz is not told to keep a list. But thank goodness that she loves the animals and wants to name them all, whether she likes them or not. So, my friends, we are at the end of another fabulous Fri-YAY. Okay? We got to figure out what happens. So let me show you again. Let me show you how much we got left. Let me show you, because we don't have much left. We don't have much time to figure out what happened. This is all we got. This is it. Possibly, I think by Fabulous Fri-YAY next week, we're going to find out what happened. Also, why does Fun Jungle want to cover up who actually did something to Henry the Hippo? And why are they trying to blame the animal rights people? We got to find out all this stuff. We got to find it out. All right, so let's go over the books that we read today. So the first one, When the Cows Come Home. This is a good one, by David L. Harrison, illustrated by Chris L. Demarest. Okay. Then we had Giggle Giggle Quack, the same people who wrote Click Clack Moo, When Cows Type. And that is by Doreen Cronin, pictures by Betsy Lewin. And this is a Scholastic book. They write such great books, or they're a great publisher. All right, and the last one, great story, Chicken Man, by Michelle Edwards. This was a really good book. If you want kids to learn about, try to think about what kind of things that you're good at and what job that only you can do and what purpose only you can do. This is a good book, Chicken Man. This is a good book. And I also liked about the book how the people lived all together and took care of one another. That's another thing that could be learned from the book Chicken Man, and how they switched jobs. Because sometimes my teacher friends know this is the truth, especially with our younger friends. Sometimes when you're in class and you give a job, sometimes people might not want to give up that one job. And they're like, I want to erase the board every day. But teaching our young ones that, sometimes it's okay to let someone else do this job. Okay. But sometimes it's also good to let the person who does it great and does it the best do that job. I've done that. I have done that. I've told them this person has this job for all time, but the rest of you can switch jobs. And then if that person wasn't there, I was like, who would like to erase the board? Oh, I would like to do it. So there were a lot of things to learn about that book. A lot of things that you could learn from Chicken Man. So, very good book to buy. All right, my friends, guess what? We rose to the occasion and we conquered the challenge of the 4-book day. We got through all 4 books. Once again, we've done it again. Got through all 4 of the books. Okay? And getting through all 4 of the books means what? It's the end. The end of Miss Hope's reading hour for our fabulous Fri-YAY. We are at the end of it. Can you believe it? Well, my friends, it is a fabulous Fri-YAY. Have a great rest of your Fri-YAY evening and have a great weekend. And we will see you right back here. I will see you. All of your Miss Hope's reading hour friends will see you right back here on a marvelous Monday. Okay? Until then, have a great weekend. And what do I say? Bye for now. See you later. Bye.